to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to the WC podcast. Today, we have a special guest, one of our newest members of the Workforce Connections board, Kelvin Watson. Kelvin, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jaime.
We're excited about asking you lots of things, so let's just dive right into it. I know where you came from, Southern Florida, Fort Lauderdale. I even knew about you before I met you. I was excited to get to know you because I had talked to my peer in Fort Lauderdale, and he told us that we were really fortunate to have landed you. But tell us why Southern Nevada was an attractive place for you to have the next chapter of your career.
For me, choosing Southern Nevada, it was just a great transition being in libraries for over 20 years. So you know about my South Florida time, but I also spent some time in Queens, New York, where I worked as the chief operating officer for that library system. I worked in federal libraries. And so taking all of that experience and bringing it here to with the opportunities here in Southern Nevada. So thinking about the Las Vegas Clark County Library District, which happened to be one of my library customers when I was back doing library sales, like I said, 20 years ago. I knew about the opportunity here and just look forward to expanding on the work that was already being done.
Awesome. And I know that you and I have got to know each other a bit, and you also are excited about us as a city now having professional sports. You and I have talked about going to a hockey game soon. Tell me a little bit about these accomplishments that, I heard about before I met you, and I've heard more about since we've talked. But there's lots of things in your resume, but just pick a couple maybe that you're most proud of and tell us about what you've accomplished in the other areas and you hope to redo here in Southern Nevada.
So a couple of things that I like to just mention are, in South Florida, we were able to really push the library outside the four walls of the library locations. So we did that by putting a digital library in the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport. That made libraries resources accessible for not just the people who lived in South Florida, but if you live, worked, or play in South Florida, you had the opportunity to take advantage. So that's one. Another opportunity that I'm proud of is the pop-up libraries that we put on the buses. And so we were able to put digital libraries on the fleet of buses in South Florida to help the commuters access the resources and actually also advertise the library more prominently.
And it's great because I already know. Just yesterday, I think I saw an announcement with the RTC where that's, again, happening here. And this is why I'm excited you're here because, you're just replicating what's already been successful in other places. And I'm grateful that MJ Maynard and Angela and her team are partnering with you. And I hope also to see this airport thing happen one day. So as a representative of on our board of the adult education and family literacy programs, I know the library administers those. Why do you think it's important for that voice to be here at Workforce Development, the local Workforce Development Board?
For us, having the library be a part of it, libraries are not just book warehouses. Even though people think of us and remember us when they were children and going to the library is so much more. The library is really a community anchor, anchoring in education, literacy, workforce development, education, as I said, but entertainment also. So we do many things. We play many roles. Though we may not always be the leader, we're the place that connects the community with those resources. So that's why the library plays such an important part, and that's why I'm happy to be a part of Workforce Connections so that we, the library, as you know, connect people with those resources.
Yeah, and Kelvin, it's already happening. Our partnership, which I'm grateful you support 100%, and you're already pushing for expansion. It's provided us a few first of its kind in the nation. A lot of people tried embedding resources from the one-stop system into the libraries, but we are the only region that's succeeded at this scale. It's 5 years now in the making, and most recently. Just as you got here, we had another first of its kind, which is opening a one-stop for employers at the Sahara West Library. again, the space completely redesigned from scratch to really serve small businesses that are looking to recover and grow post-pandemic. How do you feel about the Employee MV Business Hub at Sahara West and the one-stop centers for job seekers in the other library locations?
I really love it. I mean, again, speaking about the connections in the workforce, thinking about the pandemic, right? Think about all of the opportunities for people to receive not only training, but also to help them become, if they're not already employed, how about re-employed? Looking at other opportunities. I'm really a supporter of small businesses, entrepreneurs, and these are, this is what made the country. This is what made the United States. And so I'm happy to be a part of it, and definitely will continue to support our partnership and our expansion.
And I know I'm excited about that too, because when you and I talk about how we continue to help small businesses, there's an area before we can help them hire their people where they need help. Was they start their business? How do they start it? And you have, again, experience with that. You've been successful in Southern Florida with incubation of small businesses. And I know, again, next time we do a podcast, we'll probably be telling the public about what we're doing there in that area as well. So what would you like to see? That's one area, but over the next few years, Kelvin, as you are the voice of adult education, family literacy, the libraries here on the Workforce Connections Board, what would you like to see our partnership produce beyond the expansion of what we're already doing, as we've been talking about? Is there anything else that maybe we should put on the menu for us to tackle together in the next few years? You
actually just touched on it, Jaime. So, having entrepreneurs and small businesses use the library as a resource, right? So you mentioned South Florida and what we had as an incubation hub, but looking at helping with innovation, helping with not just the training but development and creating patents, right? That start, that fruition, and then where Workforce Connections comes into place again is helping to find employees that want to do that. And then the library, as well as Workforce Connections, can help with that training, that development. That really enhances where we want to go as a library system in support of the community, and where our contribution to the economic development, that's the key. So that's where I want to see the library really play much more of a significant role, along with our partnerships with you. And we're looking forward to that, to working with you side by side over the next few years on exactly that and other things. Before I ask you the last question, which is more into the future, I wanted to also ask you, last time I was in your office, you have plenty of awards, but I want you to share the last one you got. I think is exciting. It demonstrates again why we're fortunate to have you in Southern Nevada now, but you received it on behalf, if you will, of your work in Southern Florida. So tell us about that last award. So the Margaret Monroe Award deals with my contribution to adult literacy, adult education, and all the adult programming that I was not only a part of, but also supported my team in delivering. A lot of the work that I did in South Florida talked about really making the library a much more welcoming place. I used to call it inviting the uninvited. So making people feel welcome to the library when they, in the past, maybe felt like the library wasn't for them. And that just is not just about the economics, right? That's about people who are new to the country feeling invited. So we actually implemented a program where we use the Amazon Echoes to help my staff communicate with individuals who couldn't speak English or didn't speak English well. We use these tools and resources, and so as a result of that and many more projects, another project that I like to mention is the one where we work with veterans. It was called Veterans Connect. We were probably at one point in time the only library in the country that would loan our hotspot devices to veterans and our military service members. So with these initiatives, this is what I think set me apart, but also set us apart in libraries.
and now it's going to set us apart here in Southern Nevada. That's why I'm grateful you're here. So let's go to the last question. I know it's a big one. A lot of people are talking, even pre-pandemic, they were talking about this topic called the future of work. How is automation and artificial intelligence and robotics and technology going to change the workplace? And people were saying, well, that's still a decade away. But the pandemic really accelerated that change, because today you go to the Strip and you see that hotels have implemented automated services, robotic services, kiosk services that weren't there pre-pandemic. Many corporations have now adopted work from home strategies. And so when it comes to the libraries, again, I know you've adapted through the years with technology, but what do you see in the next 5 to 10 years? How do you see technology disrupting, augmenting, changing the way the libraries do business?
Well, that's in a lot of ways. I'll mention certainly a few. As I had the opportunity to, I don't even know if you know this, but during the pandemic, I actually received 2 certifications. One from MIT in artificial intelligence, and the other in machine learning. So understanding and recognizing that this is the future of libraries and that we're already here. This is already taking place. Libraries, during the pandemic, we were able to deliver more digital resources to our customers, to our users, not just here in Las Vegas, but also nationwide. This was one of the things that we really did well in supporting our communities and supporting our schools. And this is going to be a continued process where I see us even more being implemented, or that technology being implemented, specifically here in Las Vegas. Could be, and these are some potential things and some things that I'm actually working on, but how we could work with the hotels. I attended a perspective conference a few weeks ago where they said there's 150,000 hotel rooms here in Las Vegas, Clark County, Las Vegas, the Strip, right? How do you then implement the library into all of those rooms? What about that? A digital library for our people who might do a staycation, or people who are visiting, that they'll be able to access digital resources for a short time, leveraging, again, the many resources that are here. What about maybe we look at, instead of building new libraries, maybe we implement library vending machines, right? Kiosk that would be able to replace a large building for delivery of not only physical books, but digital books as well. They can also emit Wi-Fi. So leveraging technology for libraries is actually already part of our DNA. What we have to do is continue to expand that into the community. And
Kelvin, we're excited because as you help our library system here in Clark County, Las Vegas, if you will, meet the challenges of the future, we just become one more thing that people can access. Because when you give the community access to the library, you give the community the employment and training resources we bring. So that's why we love this partnership, and we're glad you're here in Southern Nevada. We're glad you're on the board. And so before I take us off, would you please maybe share some final thoughts with the audience? How can somebody who wants to partner with you, how can they find you? How can they get a hold of you?
For me, you can easily, I'm easily findable. Just go to the lvccld.org. There's a Kelvin's Corner. You can actually find out what's going on with me. You maybe even find out what I'm reading, what I'm enjoying. So that can happen. But you can also send me an email at watsonk@lvccld.org. .org, and you can definitely get in touch with me that way as well. Other ways for people who know you and they want to come through you, that's another way. You've already been, you and Irene have already been connecting lots of folks with me, and I truly appreciate that, and appreciate the welcome, the warm welcome that I've received thus far, and look forward to just that continuing to connect everybody with the library.
Well, you are welcome here in Southern Nevada, Kelvin, and here in our house at Workforce Connections. We do look forward to working with you for a long, long time. So thank you for coming to our podcast today.
Thank you for having me, Jaime.
So that's all for today's WC podcast. Please join us in a future episode. Until next time, stay safe. Okay, well, thank you, Kelvin, for staying over for our bonus segment called Against the Wall. We have 3 segments. The first one's called Your Favorites. Are you ready?
Yes.
Tell me your favorite cigar.
Cohiba.
Your favorite food.
Ribs.
Favorite book.
A Raisin in the Sun.
Favorite outdoor activity.
Walking.
Favorite place to go with your family.
Universal Studios Orlando.
Favorite sport to watch in person.
Football.
And your favorite way to relax?
Smoking a cigar and drinking a glass of scotch.
I like that. We've had a couple of those. Your second segment is called Tough Choices. So the first one says, are you more of a car guy or a bike guy?
I'm a car guy.
Are you a night person or morning person?
Morning person.
Would you rather lose sleep or skip a meal?
Skip a meal.
Would you rather be rich and famous or rich and unknown?
Rich and unknown.
Me too. Would you rather watch sports or play sports?
Watch sports.
So we're probably past our playing days, huh?
Yes.
And would you rather go to a concert or a sports game?
Concert.
With dinner, are you more inclined to wine or beer?
Wine.
Great. We have reached the final segment, and it's called Finish the Sentence. So I'm going to give you a few unfinished sentences, and you're going to finish them for me. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
First one. Not many people know Kelvin likes to
roller skate.
If Kelvin could have, he would have
been a lawyer.
If Kelvin had a reality TV show about his life, the title of his show would be
A Day in the Life with Kelvin.
Like that. 3 words that describe Kelvin are
innovative, collaborative, and empathetic.
True that. Kelvin's biggest joy in life is
life.
And doing the WC podcast today was
outstanding.
Well, Kelvin, you made it through our rapid fire segment. Thank you for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you.